So today, what we're going to do is we're going to do what I call conscious channeling. So that's awake channeling. And that's because some of the things that Metatron has to teach you involve practical human examples. So today's topic is about breaking the matrix, how to do that by following cosmic law. We talk about universal law all the time. We do have a class coming up, a deeper master class, on breaking the matrix and the laws, the cosmic laws of manifestation to manifest health, wealth, and abundance coming up in April. If you want to show up for our Zoom class for that, just follow the links at the top of the chat. There's a 30% discount off of it right now for Patreon members. So we're going to go deeper into that in April. And if you can't make it live, it's okay. Everybody gets their own free recording to download there. But today we're bringing Metatron in to talk about the basics of breaking the matrix and to answer your questions. And I will field your questions in chat to him. And we're talking about that in light of cosmic law, particularly for the law of reflection in a deeper way, using that bird's eye view of consciousness and understanding our cosmogenic nature, and then pulling that into our practical daily lives. Because we can't understand our cosmogenic nature, that we are of that same star material, without really breaking the matrix and getting out of the duality-based paradigms. All right. So time to remember some things. And I'm going to give you really easy ways that he's taught me to remember them. Okay. So in this channeling, we're going to talk about how to break the matrix using cosmic law based upon two principles, and then becoming aware of your thought streams and whether or not they are involved in those matrix-based principles or not. And then the two paradigms that support those matrix-based principles. All right. So pay attention, because it's easier than you think, according to Archangel Metatron. All right. So I live my life by these laws, and I live my life through seeing energy in the human auric field, the electromagnetic energy around you, in the chakra systems, but also in the energy of the entire matrix grid and how it's continually tugging and pulling on people. I like to become aware of that energy field and the two paths that it takes. Those paths are time and anybody? Time is one path to the matrix construct. What is the second path, according to Metatron? We'll talk about the two constructs to get out of it, but I've given you one. Time is the main way. Your judgment of time and your attachment to time. And that's how you get out of it. Remove judgments and attachments. We're going to talk about how in a minute. But time being the main thing, and you have to learn how to see out of it by removing all the judgments and attachments that keep you in it. I know so many people are going to say things like, well, how am I going to make all my appointments? This world is based around time, right? Well, how addicted to you are you? How addicted to time are you in this case, is what Metatron wants to ask you. So if time is the main way that we stay addicted to the matrix and trapped in it, what is the second way? Anybody know the Metatronic teachings? It's really easy. I'll give you a hint. It's the way that we judge. It's so simple. Although this class is of cosmogenic nature, these are simple principles. Time and anybody? You guys are slow on the uptake on Sunday. You must have been Netflixing all day like I was. Yes, Emmy got it. Duality. Easy answer. Time is the biggest construct. And you're going to be like, yeah, everybody knows that. Well, then why are you still in it? Let's talk about how to remove judgment and attachment in regards to time, the first construct and path, and in regards to duality and polarity. Duality operates based upon the universal law of polarity. So you've got to take all the universal laws and flip them around on their boute. Yeah, that was my channeling, not Metatron's, the boute word. But you got to take everything you know about universal law and turn it around and look at it in a bird's eye view. So for those of you who came to or saw a little bit of my teaching today on social media about this, when you live your life through the cosmic all-seeing eye, don't get freaked out, not the matrix all-seeing eye. When you're in the cosmic all-seeing eye, according to Metatron, you then can see beyond time and see how duality is pulling you back into the polaristic constructs that keep you in the matrix. And you can see it in the most simple, obvious, blatant of ways. All right. So when you're reading your life through the energy pattern, it's not logical. It's not easy to evidence. People get frustrated by it and thereby you. So when you're seeing and you're paying attention to the levels of separation that you're hearing, telepaths, you'll hear it in people's thoughts. Regular people, you'll hear it in their words and in the inflections and tone and energy field behind and beyond the words. Pay attention to what you're saying from your thought streams and emotional field, from your behaviors that become actions in your daily life, those behaviors that pull you back into number one, time, number two, duality. You understand the teachings so far. You want some examples? So we got to start tapping into the cosmic energy of the universe itself. And in this channeling, he wants to talk to you a little bit more about how to break the matrix using cosmic law in practical ways that you can manage and mitigate your energy field. All right. So that is intonation in your words, intention in your thought streams and words, right? It's people think it's easy to keep your mind clear, but what about reactivity based upon the universal law of reflection? When you see yourself reflected back to you, you don't like it and you like to push people away. And that pulls you back into duality versus just looking at yourself. Because they are you. From all the universal standpoint and the cosmic standpoint, they're made from the same thing as you. And they're reflecting back to you all of the ways that you originally intended in this lifetime to be in time and to be in duality and polarity. Do you understand what he means? So you have to see through a cosmic lens in this way and literally look down upon the thought stream, the construct of energy, both in intention and in tone. Intention and tone. Can you follow that, energy readers? I know you can. Empaths, you don't even know that you're doing it, but he says you're doing it, so you must be doing it, right? So let's talk about that. Seeing through that cosmic lens means that you have to break the matrix using cosmic law by paying attention to your tone, paying attention to your intent, okay? Paying attention to the words behind your words, the intention behind your body language. These are simple ways that you can do this. We're going to go much deeper in the masterclass. But the way to break the matrix is by looking at your tone, your intention, and your entire energy field. When things are off, they're off with you. You guys are used to staying in the duality and polarity constructs, according to Metatron. You're used to staying in that when you say, oh, no, something feels off, so I don't need to talk to that person. Something feels off, so I need to break up with them. Something feels off, so I need to put in my notice or quit my job. In this teaching, if something's off and they're you, why are you running? It's just a question that he has to ask you. If something's off, and according to both universal law and cosmic law, everyone is another version of you. Even under the Dolores teachings of backdrop people, they're still you pretending to be asleep. So why are you running from them too? Why are you running from the narcissist? Now, this is a level teaching, he says, so there are obvious things that we don't really need to argue. You will definitely run from an abusive person. You're not going to stay, with a drug addict or in alcoholic situations. You're not going to take gaslighting abuse and things of that nature, but you're still going to take it back to your heart and look at it as if you're looking at a part of yourself without saying that you're not the one, because they have to be you. In this teaching. You can even look at entities. You can look at governmental entities, spiritual entities, everything that you're afraid of. Look down upon it in the cosmic lens. Look upon it with love. Release your judgment and release your attachment to it. How do you do that? Well, if an entity is attacking you in this case, you're going to stop judging it as an entity. Number one, you don't know what you don't know. And I don't care who's told you otherwise. This is an egoless teaching. All right? You're going to assume that you don't know. That is the first way to remove judgments and attachments and stay outside of time and duality constructs. You feel me on that? So you're going to step back. Those of you who have played around a little bit with psychedelics can understand what I'm talking about. When you see this ultimate cosmic thing and then you think it's something horrible and evil. And then when you recognize that everything is love, it shatters before you. Have you ever had that happen in ayahuasca or in your DMT or mushroom experiences, LSD experiences? Sometimes they're a little easier, but for those of you who have used those specific tools, you will understand what it's like to have to move back from judgment and attachments when you see yourself before you, because otherwise you psychologically lose your mind in the trip. Anybody done that? I don't trip, so I wouldn't know. My life alone is enough of a trip without adding psychedelics. But in this case, Metatron wants you to see this in this way that you can stand outside of time and duality, okay? And really look at things just like you would as if you're on a very bad trip. Every time you get that kick in the gut, whenever a narcissist is poking you in the side and gaslighting you, every time you've had a fight with your loved one, every time you have to deal with a boss who's just really being unfair to other employees, these are the things that break the matrix, right? These are the things. You've got to look through the cosmic lens, remove judgment by saying, I don't know what that is. And I don't know why. And I don't know what it's for. This is a cosmic construct, and I now remove judgment of it because I do not know. Admit that. Number two, I am not attached to learning from it. I don't need to learn in this way. I don't require suffering to hold me. I don't require painful karma to hold me together emotionally, physically, or mentally. I don't require suffering within the karmic construct for my health, wealth, and well-being. I just gave you about a zillion cosmic affirmations to stay attuned to cosmic law. I want you to go back through this video, listen to Metatron's cosmic affirmations, use them in your life here, because it's the everyday stuff that you're looking at and judging and becoming attached to that's keeping you in the matrix still. I'll give you another example. The way that you turn on the news and you see something terrible. Oh my gosh, this world, no one's going to wake up. Right? Or say you open my work with humans from the future and my remote viewing from the humans from the future, and you don't like the new earth that you saw, and you say, that's not my timeline. You don't know. It's somebody's timeline. So resistance is one of the ways that you pull yourself back into a timeline, because the universe cosmically does not hear the word no or not. You understand what he's saying? So if you say that's not my timeline, what did you just say cosmically? That's my timeline. That's what the universe just heard. Got enough resistance and persistence, and boom, there it is. You are pulled in to that timeline according to Metatron in this teaching. Right? When you look at all the different types of new earth, you got the idea that here's another example he's giving you. Whenever you like to try to understand the concept of 3D earth versus 5D new earth is evolving and shifting and moving and growing all the time. And Metatron says there are over 111 million versions of new earth constantly. And you guys are over there thinking, well, I'm on the version that's this, and I'm on the version that's that. That's fine. Keep saying that. Right. But other people have the right to be on a less awakened version than you. And that can still be a new earth to them. Right. So don't get in the way of their constructs and don't judge them as less awake than you. These may seem like really simple concepts, but we're continuing to do this all the time. Gossip is another construct that pulls us into duality constructs. And it's very tempting. It's very, very tempting, particularly if getting some wisdom from some gossip might benefit you or your family. I was in this situation today and I found out that somebody in my neighborhood might be moving. And it was one of the children that really doesn't get along with my child. And the dualistic part of me was like, I'm just going to call the person who knows and ask if that's really true. And the guides were like, you saw our house for sale. You know it's really true. Why are you starting shit? Right? Just by you calling that could start something that you don't want. And you could begin gossip and be pulled into it just as easily as that, just by attempting to gather some basic practical information. So this is why we're taking these cosmic teachings into how we are going into duality again and again and again and again, right? Every time we get up in the morning, here's another example from Metatron. We get up in the morning and we say, I don't want to go to that dead end job, but I have to make money. I hate that I have to make money. I hate money. Money's not going to be a part of my new earth paradigm. Boom. Judgment and attachment in one run-on sentence. You just did it, empaths. You just pulled yourself into both time and duality because then you start saying other things. One day I'll be able to get out of it. Time, one day. Get out of it now. Right? And then you start, but I'm attached to it because I won't be able to pay my rent or pay my mortgage. No, you will. If you trust in the new earth cosmic principle that you're in, you will be able to pay your rent and pay your mortgage. You will leave the moment you're ready, or you'll keep complaining because you're still there because you feel attached to the paradigm of the rent and the mortgage. And then you start fearing that you won't be able to make it. Right? These are practical ways that we pull ourselves into duality and polarity and time. And these are the constructs that hold us in the matrix. It's not the archons and all this other stuff you see on YouTube that's holding you in. That's a construct you dreamt up for fear. You ain't stuck on this planet. This is not a prison planet. Every single soul on this planet, including backdrop people, chose to be here in this day, in this time, to break this construct once and for all. Not because you were trapped in it. You chose to come and learn from it and divinely remember your wholeness, oneness, and who you are, to experience the beauty of it. But when you're done, you're done. um, what else do you want to say here? So he says this cosmic lens will be an ultimate connection to a cosmic source, not the source that you think of as God, religion. You got to start thinking about your language and how it pulls you back in. You have to start monitoring the language, the words that you're using. Even New Age has its own language that pulls you into a dualistic paradigm. Typically, every time you say, that doesn't resonate, I don't align, that's not my timeline, you just broke 3 cosmic laws. Right? Because if you said it, you automatically aligned. That's how powerful you are. And then you said not, and the universe doesn't hear it. You're too powerful for the word not. So then you disattached, you created more attachment in that moment. Another example of our language being of the polaristic paradigm, the duality paradigm, our language is full of it. We start saying things like, that's not right, right? That's just wrong. Do you know everything you say after the word I am that isn't love pulls you back into the duality paradigm? I am sorry. How about you not use the word sorry and you use another paradigm? According to Metatron, if you say, I am loving what I'm learning from you. How about if you not say, I'm ashamed right now? How about if you say, I am hurting because of this? because of what we are creating together, what I am creating, the pain that I'm creating for you, and the pain that you're creating for me. And I hope that you choose to forgive me. And I know that I choose to forgive you. As a matter of fact, this may not be either of our faults. Why? Because in cosmic law, which Ho'oponopono is based upon, everything in the higher realms is no one's fault. You all chose it. Granted, people aren't really going to hear that, but you can say things like, you know, I don't feel good about this. I am wanting light to fill this situation, and I'm wanting for you to feel wholeness. I am hoping and I have faith that the love that we have for each other heals everything that's beyond our understanding, right? These are ways to pull outside of duality paradigms when you don't agree. Okay. So you got to pay attention to your words, because when you use words like sorry or ashamed, disappointed, um, when you say things like I feel like you just compared yourself to waste product, according to the angels today, right? And it's not because we don't think that the F word is particularly funny or enlightening. It can be invigorating, right? But how are you choosing to use it? Are you using it in wonder and curiosity? Or are you using it when you're super mad at the whole world? You can hurt someone with that word, right? Um, yeah. And if you ever feel like you can't make it anymore, Anya just post, if you're feeling really bad right now, the National Suicide Hotline number, right? To just have a talk. And I believe in the UK, they have a number as well for when you just want to talk. Does anyone know what that number is? I'm not from the UK, but I heard that the UK has a number as well if anyone's feeling like they just can't make it anymore. If anyone's ever feeling that way, this is what these angels are here for, but this is what professionals can guide you through as well. Don't go commit yourself, but just call the number and talk to somebody, okay? So it's important to not use words that have had thousands of years of duality based and time construct based negativity, right? So some people say, well, I just use the F word because I'm changing the vibration of it. Yeah, okay. But it's not just you that's in this world. You're in this world with billions of other people, 8 billion other people, right? And that all of us throughout thousands of years have created a negative connotation to the F word. Now, if a bunch of us come together and create a positive connotation, denotation rather, with the F word, that will be one thing. But we haven't done it just yet. We haven't done it according to Metatron, right? So somebody says allowing a child to curse at home because you teach them it's just a word. No, mm-mm. That's not going to fly according to this teaching, because that word has thousands of years of negative connotation and duality implications that are pulling your children back in. You wouldn't even want to hear that. We'd have to pull in probably Halal or Lilith to talk about the exact negative connotation that it brings and the energy prison that it brings to you. So can you be wise in your divine language? Right? Can you be wise? Even the word is holier than the F word. And the GD word, it's just a no-no in these practices. It's so no. Right. And we're pulling from thousands of years of religious paradigms when people used to damn God whenever their crops didn't happen in Egypt and Samaria. We're pulling through so many different paradigms of abusing women. Um, Gay people have been around a long time, even, believe it or not, 4,000 years ago. We were still there. Not like advertising it as clearly as people are these days, but The F word is actually like a rape connotation from Egypt, many, many thousands of years ago. When someone came out that they were gay, someone would rape them out of it and call it the F word. You can do a lot of your research on that one. Yeah, so that's like pulling in energy from your ancestors who were abused, particularly if they had any deviation in the way that they wanted to love another human being. That's originally where that came from in our paradigm. And prior to that, though, when they would kill certain beings that they didn't understand, like the raw end beings and the blue avian beings, they would scream that word, except it was kind of somewhat different and in a different language, but close enough. So the etymology of the word going back thousands of years, this is not a, oh, don't do this and do that. We don't want to pull that into today's work either, but we want to create like an awareness of the thousands of years that we could be pulling from in our words, because silence is more golden than words always. And before, according to Metatron, if you really want to break the matrix, before you talk, really bless your own self, bless your own soul, bless your mind in its capacity to have a loving thought stream. Give it permission and say things to your higher self. Give your higher self permission to take over your mind so that by the time you open your mouth, every word that you will speak to yourself or about yourself or to another person or about another person will be 100% loving. Right? So these are ways we get out of the matrix. So somebody is going to be resistant to this, and that means you want to stay in. If you're resistant, that means you love the matrix. Typically, if people are resistant to that, they're just enjoying it. And by all means, you go with your bad self. You are the masters. Those who enjoy the matrix are here to teach people who don't do well in it how to be more functional in it. And there's a lot of that going on right now as well. So this teaching won't be for everybody. There are plenty of people who do not want ascension. They do not want enlightenment. They do not want to get out of the matrix, right? And for all the people who do want to get out of it, the people who are staying in it, typically there are people who've already mastered it. So there's no reason for them to come in and get out of it. They're there to make sure you pay your taxes. They're there to make sure that you don't, going around spilling out spiritual gobbledygook to people and trying to convert them over into your ways and trying to make spirituality like the newest paradigm of everything. Matrix people are there to kind of keep you understanding how the matrix works. And for people who respectfully do not want to be in New Earth, they're not going to be in it. Let them not be in it. You know? Yeah. This may be a surprise to you that we're not here, that not everybody's going to get out of the we have the New Earth, and then we have like a million versions. I like Metatron is saying 111,000 potentials. No, he said million, 111 million potentials of New Earth. And in this way, that means that some of them may still smoke pot. Some of them might be Democrats. Some of them won't have any political system at all. I'm learning this a lot from humans from the future, and the angels come in and say, wow, how are you going to teach that there's not one New Earth where there is no politics, no religion, no this, and not everything the way that New Age wants it? Right? How are we going to teach you that? But if you want to break the matrix, you have to see that there are literally uncountable potentials for New Earth, and that many will stay in the earth that's the old earth, and they will love it, and they will enjoy it. Let them, right? So you have to see through this cosmic lens by being unattached to the way that other people live their lives, what they believe in, their superstitions, right? Seeing through this cosmic lens creates this ultimate connection to cosmic source, okay? Something beyond yourself and something beyond anything and everything that you've been taught. So every time you and here's the ways that you know that you're being pulled back into the matrix, you will feel either apathy, extreme bitterness, resentment, hatred, fear, anger pulls you out of straight in back into the matrix. Resentment pulls you back into the matrix. Shame pulls you back into the matrix. But there are some things beyond the obvious. It's one of these things that no one talks about that is a real big kind of in your face energy that if you feel this, you're definitely being tempted to get pulled back to the matrix. And that construct is cognitive dissonance. Does everybody know what that feels like when you start wanting everything to look so much like how you want it? And then you get confused and you start saying, well, what's right? What's the right spiritual teaching? Oh, well, that can't be right because that's not love and light enough. You start getting this cognitive dissonance. You start getting confusion. And then you start going, you know what? Screw it all. If what I thought wasn't right, then I'm going to give up on my potential of what I thought living was. Don't do that. What you do instead is forgive the construct that you're seeing and forgive even the cognitive dissonance that you're feeling surrounding that circumstance. I lift this circumstance into the higher realms. That is what you do, right? I saw an old friend of mine not too long ago going through something, and the part of me that kind of wanted to stay in the matrix and fight for him, that wanted to just be like, why do they do that to you? You shouldn't go into hospitals because they're going to do that to you. And I want to go into the hospital and become an advocate and put on my warrior hat. And oh, guess what? Immediate matrix. You have to be able to advocate for something and not become the battleground, not become the person with the shaking fist and the shooting gun. In this teaching, when you're seeing through the cosmic lens of love and breaking the matrix, you're trying to manifest peace and comfort. So what would you work with? A lot of my students are already going to know this. You're going to work with the construct of grace. You got to take that word back for you in order to get out of the matrix. Because the word grace, well, it's like the new sexy in religious stuff, but it's the new sexy in spirituality as well. So don't say it's just something you heard in the Bible. The word grace is a spiritual construct that pulls you outside of time. So anytime you invoke a certain grace and you speak it aloud, even if you just whisper it, and you infuse that entire situation with grace, guess what? If a person is meant to get out of the matrix, they're going to. In that moment, they're going to get an opportunity to no longer be bound by time and by duality and polaristic constructs, right? When you do that, it's like time just stops. Have you ever felt that feeling of time just stopping in that moment while you're blessing something or infusing grace into a situation? I've seen this happen before. I wish that I could just walk around blessing everyone with light language and I didn't have anything else to do but just sing light language to you. You'd think it's weird and you'd be like, what is language is that? What are you saying? And once you get behind all that and you get past all that, this is why light codes and light languages are incredible, because you don't know what they mean. And when you admit that you don't know, in this teaching, what happens? You just open the cap off of the entire cosmic grace construct. The moment you say, I don't know what this is and I don't know what this is for, I infuse this situation with cosmic grace. And the more you get used to what graces are going to work in what way, you'll be able to specifically use grace as well and inject and infuse grace all over the place. When you can do this, you'll be more apt to no longer use unholy language, unsacred language that holds you in time and duality constructs. You won't even speak because it'll start to come out of your mouth and you'll be like, I want to say that, but I'm not going to say that. You'll still feel that little karmic devil on one shoulder, but the angel on the other one will say, just don't even talk right now. There's nothing you have to add to this situation. Right. Right. So the thing about it is, it's not that words are vibrationally right or they're wrong. It's that they've been carrying polaristic energy fields for thousands and thousands of years. This, for the same reason, is very, very rare that I will use any terms that I have a feeling about that might otherwise seem positive, for in the same way I may not use that term as well. Like, I don't often use the term love and light because that has been infused with an interesting energy only in the past 20 years. And it has begun to become, and you know what Metron's going to say about this. People are starting to use the word love and light in the way that they're using namaste. Did you hear the way I said that? Anytime someone says namaste, unless they're standing right before you or unless you're in India, that word in America is starting to become infused with a bit of a, and love and light too, a bit of a self-righteous energy pattern, right? What is grace? Um, Grace is the most sacred construct of cosmic source. Grace is the evolution of a soul outside of time. And when I say outside of time, I mean human time. But there's another way to look at grace. Grace is the evolution of a soul in cosmic time, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, growing and unfolding into yourself and then back out again. It's a centrifuge energetically. And this, it is a cosmic energy field that is as undefinable as you could possibly imagine. And it is what you need right now, according to Archangel Metatron. Yeah. Let's talk Apple Tech. What a cool name. He said, as an individual, can we adjust it or are we swept up by the vibrational collective meanings? Right. Most of the time, you'll be swept up by the vibrational collective meanings. It may take us another 100 years to get out of saying namaste and love and light in a self-righteous way, right? Most people just rarely, except in the beginning stages of their awakening, use namaste and love and light if you're a white American. I haven't seen people really use love and light in a very good way in a very long time. Most of the time, it's just said with nothing behind it. Sort of like, this is an interesting platitude that I'm going to use to make you stop talking about your pain without actually doing anything to serve you with compassion or assist you. I'm going to say love and light. That's what's happening right now in our spiritual constructs that's holding the new age spiritual construct in particular, according to the angels, in duality still. We're still held in the matrix by being too new age. Now, granted, I know just as many people who are teaching, things that are ancient Kabbalistic principles that are saying, well, if you don't follow Kabbalistic principles, then you're not blah, 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 you know, and then they'll judge the new age. See, this happens in spirituality as well. April says, can we yell on our own just to get the negative energy out? Negative energy has to go somewhere. You can yell, but you can also put it into art. You could put it into dance. You could put it into a martial arts. The angels love that. You could put it back into Mother Earth where it belongs. Mother Earth's capable of handling it, right? So when you see through this cosmic lens, you will start to manifest things, not necessarily because you're setting an intention, okay? When you go into the manifestation field, which is outside of duality and time, right? Then you start saying, wow, I don't know much, but I know for some reason, beyond my own knowing, I know for some reason that, and then you'll fill in the blank. And you just know, kind of like how you know when you're getting ready to move somewhere, or you need to move, or you will move, or you just get a knowingness and then the visions come later. In the cosmic energy field of manifestation, in cosmic law, is completely different than universal law, because universal law says, well, I am my own reflection, so I'm going to step into my sovereignty and say, I know this, even though it hasn't happened. In cosmic law, you say, I know this because I feel it to my very core. And it's happening. I may not know when. And the moment you put a time frame on it, you're back in universal law. Not that that doesn't work, but this is just a different teaching. Universal law holds you bound to the karmic laws of the matrix. Now, some of you may say, well, if that makes me manifest $1 million, I'm down. Cool. Good on you. Right? But if you take that $1,000,000 and use it in a dualistic, polaristic way, and you're not actually stepping through the cosmic lens beyond time, then you just created a whole new binding for yourself in the matrix that's money based. People do that all the time, right? So in cosmic manifestation, in this teaching, money comes, money goes. You could be completely rolling in the dough 1 minute, and then it's going to be temporarily on hold the next minute. But it's going to come, and you know it's going to come. So you don't sit here and say and pretend that it's already going to exist. It's already on its way. It's not here now. That's universal law reasoning. That's that degree of manifestation. But in this cosmic manifestation, you're not imagining something that's not. You are imagining something that is. Because of isness, you're beginning to use your imagination as a source-based cosmic construct to work for you outside of time. You don't say, well, I know it's going to happen by this time. You say, I know this to my core and I don't care when it's going to happen. I just know it in my core as if it is happening right now. I know it in my core. Have you ever done that? That's beyond duality. Yeah. Yeah, many people aren't really willing to do these things. They're not really willing to release judgment and to be aware of when they're becoming attached to polaristic constructs and dualistic constructs, right? But it's in everything. And the more you're aware of this and you step back and you use these invocations and you tap into the cosmic grace right now, you recognize that you're powerless to change the matrix. The matrix is always going to be here. It's here for you. It's like, you know, that one super attached best friend that's super needy, clingy, that's never going to let go. That's the matrix. He's like, the drunk hand on the shoulder. I got you, boo. Right? That's the matrix. You're never going to change the matrix. You just go, okay. Yeah, okay, bro. And get him a good ride home or whatever. But you go about your day, you're not being like, God, why did he say that when he's drunk? Why does he always say that? Why is he so difficult? Man, it's causing me so much suffering. Why am I stuck with him? It's just the matrix. You know how he rolls, right? We're giving too much power to the matrix. Sort of like how we give power to that one drunk best friend. Everybody's got one or has had one at one point in time. I had one in my younger years, and we just know she liked drama, she liked gossip, she liked drinking. That's how she is. All kind of stuff came out of her mouth, and that is the way it is, and nobody could change her. Right? Stop trying to get people out of the matrix. You are here to see yourself in a cosmic light of divinity. You are here to see yourself in the powerful sovereign truth that you are. And you're here to stop judging and attaching. No judgments, no attachments, right? So some of you are going to look this as this Metatronic teaching is very judgmental, but that's just your ego holding on for dear life, holding on, saying, oh, no, I don't want to change, but let's go beyond it, right? Why still smoking? Why? Why are we still putting things in our body that hold thousands of years worth of pain-based reliefs, right? It's up to you. Some people put positive judgment on that, like sacred tobacco. And you'll see indigenous people smoking the heck out of that and being like 102 years old. So obviously they're carrying that well. But are you a part of that collective? Probably not, right? So this isn't about what's right, what's wrong, Metatron trying to come in and make you a Miss Goody Two Shoes. This is about what is really good for your health. And if it's not, why are you still doing it? It's a really simple, non-judgmental teaching. If it's not good for your health, you know it. We're not going to sit here and pretend that everything's good for our health when you know good and well that it's not. The matrix teaches you that it's not. So going outside of the duality, you're going to say, well, person who loves the matrix would still be smoking cigarettes. Okay, don't judge yourself for it. You just love the matrix, the end. You want to be in that time. It's eventually going to get you. And that's You obviously want to stay in the matrix if you want to do that. This isn't about, like, we're not going to go into like eating meat. We're not going to go into any of that because meat is not the same as cigarettes. Some people can eat meat and be perfectly healthy and some can't. But I'm talking these very obvious things that you're doing to your physical body. In this teaching, you would just need to stop without judging it. No judging it, but smoking is an attachment. So without judging it, and without saying that I or this angel is judging you, just say, it's obviously not good for my body. I'm just going to stop. No judgment. I just don't need the attachment. Right. And you really have to trust yourself. What's good for you? And smoking just isn't good for anyone. Right. And it feels judgmental, like all over it. This feels like judgmental, but the only thing that is your ego trying to keep you in judgment by judging the message. And it feels like judgment for an angel to say, don't smoke a cigarette. That's just your ego wanting to stay in the matrix. And when you realize that, and you say, I don't know much, but I know for sure that smoking's bad for my body, and I'm here to manifest health, wealth, and abundance, you immediately go into that cosmic energy and say, an attachment is not health, wealth, and abundance. It's the end. Smoking is not health, wealth, and abundance. This isn't your sacred tobacco. It doesn't have 4,000 years of ancestry attached to it. I'm talking about your Surgeon General warning cigarettes with all the rat poison rolled up inside of it, right? You know that's not good for you. You know it's not. So you can't imagine beyond that into the cosmic energy because you know what it is and what it isn't. So in that case, with what you do know, you can't use a spiritual teaching to hold you in a matrix by saying, well, Abraham Hicks said I can eat anything, do anything, and pretend that it's good to me and imagine that it's good for me. And I'm sorry, we have over 100 years of collective energy that we've built together that evidences that cigarettes are not good for our body. So you can't lie to yourself in that way because you've had 100 years of science to tell you otherwise. And that's not judgment. That's just what it is. Right? It's just what it is. Who's going to argue it? It's just not great for your body. So you just say it's an attachment, the end. So if you like too much sugar, you know it's an attachment. But if you got sugar under control, you're all good. No judgment, right? No judgment in anything. But you have to be able to look with the grace of discernment. And this pulls you into the cosmic law again. Use the grace of discernment to say, is this or is this not good for me? Tell yourself the truth and remove the attachment. Remove all attachments. You can do it. All right. Because you are human. So I said, well, he can do it. And he wasn't human. Why can't we? Metatron just wouldn't have any interest in smoking because angels really don't have attachment. But yeah. So you can't ask your body's consciousness what it thinks of cigarettes, right? Because your body is actually of a dualistic construct. You have to ask your soul what's good for your body, is what he's saying on this. Your ego's coming out to play with me. That's fine. Like, we're not here to offend you. But if you ask your soul, which is the most sacred construct, what is good for your body? Is it good for cigarettes? Go ahead and do it. I dare you right now. And tell me what it says. If you tell me yes, I'm just going to call you. Our psychiatric medicine is healthy. See, I knew we'd go down this whole rabbit hole, and we haven't had enough on that. The angels don't particularly like it, but they're not going to judge it for you either because we haven't had thousands of years of negative energies and suffering from it. But we have had quite a bit. So it's something to consider when you ask your soul. Like, for instance, if you're getting ready to kill yourself, your soul might say, we don't like it, but please use the tool. We want you to live. And in that moment, you would. And that energy would become good for you. Can you say the same for cigarettes? No, you cannot. It's not going to save your life. Right? But then some people, if you ask your soul, is a psychiatric medication good for you? Is it keeping me in the matrix? And you really have some other way any other way, because most other ways are going to be higher frequency and more vibrationally aligned to you. So the soul's going to say, you're not going to feel yourself, and it might make you apathetic and it might make you worse. Most of the time the soul would say that. But if you're at your wit's end and there's no other way, the soul might say, you know what? Not the best, not the worst. Let's not judge it, but let's not use it as an attachment or a crutch forever and ever either. So this isn't this is good, this is bad teaching. because that will pull you back into dualistic construct. It's an ask your soul teaching and don't judge the answer. But with that in mind, I really haven't had anybody's soul tell me that cigarettes is good for their body. Not once. um, I just haven't. It hasn't happened. Um, so yeah, well, you're going to start to see through a cosmic lens. And this is going to create this connection. And you're going to find that when it's time to start a business, it just starts to happen. When it's time that money's going to flow, that it does. This is how money flows and drops into your life, and you don't know where it's coming from. It's because you're outside of judgment, attachment, time, and duality. And it just begins to happen, and you'll have a little thought. We call this quantum manifesting. We're going to talk about this a lot in the masterclass. But Metatron says you're going to have these moments where you just think on something, and it's just there. And you went, whoa, and you trip yourself out. Right? Have you guys been doing that? So you're able to observe your own energy field through cosmic seeing. And then you can see what energies are compatible, what energies clash with you. You can see what's really real for you and what's right around the corner. But this is more of a quick manifestation course. It's like crash course in this. Ultimately speaking, you have to change your life and become more masterful in getting your thought streams, your vocabulary, your behaviors, and your actions out of duality and outside of time attachments. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I hear you on that one. Divine Hazel says, I'm not a fan of the word bless because you're telling people to bless. My thing is bliss to all. Are you telling people to be less? I haven't heard that one, and I don't want to create a new negative thought stream. When I have observed the vibration of the word bless, I have felt that it's very superstitious. So many hundreds of years ago, we had a lot of people that were killed after saying bless you, and they would sneeze. And if they sneezed more than once, some people thought that they were possessed by a demon and were unable, that would be irreparable, that you can't salvage that, and they would kill them. So, and if you focus too much on that, then also you hold yourself in that construct, right? So that's very individual. Like I was one of in my past lifetimes, I remember a lot of my lifetimes, thousands of years of them. And one of them was being burned at the stake after someone said, bless you. And I just kept sneezing because I had like allergies, right? And I got killed for having allergies. So I don't use it. But some other people are attempting to break this, right? To break this construct. And they use the word bless like a blessing of grace. I bless you with the grace of discernment, like when you have to make a decision. I bless you in your grieving. I bless you with the grace of compassion so that you feel safe, and so that this grief is soft and palpable and loving and gentle on your heart. These are the ways you bless people in these cosmic teachings, right? Yeah. Someone said the matrix is death and taxes, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Maybe, but I don't know. I have had some rock and roll that is just so incredibly out of the matrix, like so beyond it amazing. And I've never really had a terrible experience with the IRS. Granted, I pay my taxes, and every time when I sit down and I do my taxes, I'm like, I feel so blessed that I am so supported to have the money to pay my taxes because I owe every single damn year, right? So I sit down, instead of bitching that I owe every year, I just go, okay. I feel blessed that I have the money to pay these taxes. Been saving it. It's good. Got it. Savings account's gone again, but that's okay. It'll build back up, right? And you kind of get used to it. You just say, I feel blessed with this. Or you create a blessing around that, because we are still in a world of taxes. Has anybody noticed that? Somebody said, well, that's not my, well, okay. Well, tell me where you live. Tell me where you live that you don't have it. Obviously not in most countries are still heavily taxed, right? Now, granted, in my work with humans from the future, I don't see a lot of heavy taxation, and I see that the tax system, some timelines have it, some timelines don't. Some of the timelines have it, but they're working their way out of it. That's been really fascinating for me to see so many humans from the future giving me different ways that we're working out of the taxation systems, particularly federal taxations, but some of the New Age timelines still have new Earth taxation systems in the future. And Metatron has given me the same visions of that, but they're not, they're fair. They're really fair. So, and then he's given me visions of potentials of people who don't have timelines of taxes at all. But it's never the people who are saying it's not my timeline. It's always the people who are just like, taxes are fine. I'm fine if I'm taxed. I'm fine if I'm not. It's those people that end up in the timelines with no taxes, ironically enough. But um, the matrix is a paradox. So the moment you kind of throw up your fist at something, keep in mind that you just aligned yourself to it. Um, How do we know something is an attachment versus a medication that we should stay on? Attachments, Metatron says that attachments have a certain really gross feeling to them. You know, I don't do well with sugar, right? But I have an attachment to it that I'm working through. And when I don't have it, I just feel good. And I start to recognize that I feel good. With medications, there's certain medications that you know that you can talk to your soul, and the soul's going to say, yeah, your body needs that, right? And then there's certain medications that you know that if you got off of them, you could probably, with the soul's help, work your way around that. Granted, I'm not a doctor. YouTube will get very mad if I don't give you this disclaimer. I'm not approved or allowed legally to treat, diagnose, or offer any cures to you. This is just intuitive information. Blah, 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 YouTube. Anyway, your soul's going to tell you that. And you have to pay attention to how your body actually feels. But you're a smart person. You're smart people. You know that answer. And your soul's just going to tell you. I know people who have to stay on blood pressure medications, but I know people that are on statins that should not be on statins. As a matter of fact, statins are one of the things that it really confuses me as a medical intuitive, because when I watch the energy patterns, high cholesterol isn't that big of a deal, that some people are just meant to have high cholesterol, right? I'd be more concerned, according to what the angels have told me, about low good cholesterol, more concerned about people who have low cholesterol when they need it for good heart health. So you'll know. Ask your soul to tell you. Don't ask your body, ask your soul. Body is there for you to stay in the matrix. Body's going to tell you everything that's going to keep you in the matrix. Yeah. Our goals attachment says, well, Metatron says goals are driving points for your future self to realize its full sovereignty, to realize its full mastery. So goals are just energy pools that keep you going. Everyone needs them. Now, have a goal, do your work. Goal doesn't come in your direction. But the more you're moving towards that goal, letting go of judgments and attachments, following your thought streams, your words, your behaviors, and your actions towards that goal, then you're not going to be surprised when it plops in your lap. And you're not going to be surprised when it happens in a time frame that is almost bloody miraculous. True? You're not going to be surprised. That's how you do quantum leaping, and manifestation within quantum leaping is by having goals and working towards them. Does the universe decide who wins the lotto? Metatron says no. Surprise. He says that the universe doesn't decide, but the person who has the least attachment, who doesn't even believe that it is going to happen to them, who has the least belief system attachment to it, wins the lotto. Because the lotto has not a negative or a positive alignment or vibration. It's just a belief system of absolute trust and faith that what is meant to happen is going to happen. Now, granted, It's typically the very visual people who win the lotto, where they got visions of it, they had a dream of it, and they just went, "Nah, no attachment, no judgment. I'm not thinking if I'm gonna get it, and why would I get it, and why would God let me get it up all the other people who are probably more deserving." That never happens in the mind of a lotto winner. They just go, "Well, I had a dream, so weird. Maybe I should go play some numbers. Not attached, don't care. Let's just do it." It's always those people. Right? Oh, so fun. Okay, guys, that's it. What's coming up Tuesday? We are channeling the Arcturian Collective on Patreon. That link is above at the top of the chat. If you want a 30% off code to get into our masterclass on cosmic manifesting and breaking the matrix with Metatron coming up in April, make sure you go to that link at the top. And if you have any questions, just email me, PamelaErlin@gmail.com. Please don't email me your stories about your life. Tell me them here in the YouTube comments. I love to hear your stories there. But when you put them in my email, I do not get them. I do not read my email. That's for my team. I only read them if she tells me to read them, then I read them, right? So don't put them there. Put them in the comments. Let me know your questions about this channeling and about this information. And join us for the Deeper Mastery class coming up in April. Use the link at the top of the chat. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel so much. If you're watching today and you haven't subscribed, please hit that button and click on the like button if you don't mind. It really helps so much. And I wanted to also give you a quick thanks to, I had a really hard day when I put up my last Humans from the Future channeling, and people were like, "This should be, that should be, I'm on my timeline," and all this stuff. And some people were being very mean to me as well and saying some pretty nasty insults about this. And um, thank you for not doing that. Thank you for all your support, because some of you went on there and like typed paragraphs of supportive, loving things to me. And that means the world when you do that, because I was having one of those days where I was like, I tell you, this channel is about to go by. I was so done. And, because I'm only human. Like I said in the post that I'm going to post about it, I'm just a mom standing in her teenager's room looking for up work. Right. I'm a super weird person, but when you see me on the street, I look just like anyone else, just like a tired mom getting ready to go pick up her kids from the school drop-off zone or whatever. So I love the Humans from the Future. So if you don't like it, just like, I love you, but I don't need it, because I know what I'm doing with this. I've been practicing it for 10 years now with the Humans from the Future. I started at age 40. I'm almost 50 now. I love it. I've really researched it and spent plenty of time really making sure that the information I bring is for the highest and best for you. So if you don't like it, it's cool. I'm good, but don't say anything about it. I don't need it. These things are going into books for you guys, so that when I'm gone from this world, you'll have something, and you'll have little guidelines. You'll have guidelines on how to really go deeper into your future, and you'll have some hope about what the future actually looks like. And that's why I'm doing it, is to give hope and faith to everyone, because the future looks amazing. The Humans from the Future say so. It looks wonderful, you know? Um, and I know some of you will say it's not my thing or whatever. That's fine too. And thank you for your support and your kind of quiet support in that as well. And I just love you guys so much, and you make that possible. All right. I'll see you, I think, Tuesday for the Arcturian channeling, the Arcturian collective channeling. See you soon. Bye.